Hi, Taylor T. Carlson back with another movie review for you. Today we're taking a look at Saving Silverman, a 20-year-old film that is finally making its Blu-ray Disc debut. This movie was ripped to shreds by critics back in the day. Roger Ebert once famously said of this movie, "How low can a thumb go?" So you can see there's not a lot of love for this movie, but there's a lot of fans out there that still managed to get a kick out of this rather silly and juvenile comedy. We're going to talk a little about the movie as well as this Blu-ray release from Mill Creek. We'll start off with an unboxing. Here's the cover art, pretty basic, simple and to the point, but it works. Spine art there. Back cover, got the summary of the film, a few pictures, and the credits and data about the movie and the disc. Now, one thing I do want to get out of the way before we move on further with this review. Saving Silverman was released in theaters in a PG-13 rated cut. When it was released on DVD, it came in both the PG-13 cut as well as an extended R-rated cut. Presumably, the R-rated cut was the version that was submitted to the MPAA that was later cut down to get a PG-13. The packaging and the MPAA card at the beginning of the movie state that the movie is rated PG-13, and the package states that it runs about 90 minutes. However, the version of the movie on here is the R-rated cut, which runs about 96 minutes. So the packaging is very misleading. The opening MPAA logo that comes up when you play the movie is very misleading. It all says PG-13, but you get the R-rated cut on here. Now, inside the package, nothing to really write home about, just a plain old sleeve. You can tell this was a budget reissue of sorts. There's a close-up of the disc, got the core cast together. And the stars of the movie are Jason Biggs, Steve Zahn, Jack Black, Amanda Peet, R. Lee Ermey, Amanda Detmer, and Neil Diamond as himself. The movie was directed by Dennis Dugan. His directorial debut was Problem Child back in the early 90s. Remember that old movie with John Ritter, Jack Warden, Michael Richards? Sort of a minor classic in my household. And he's probably best known for his collaborations with Adam Sandler, which include the likes of Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, and Grown Ups. Saving Silverman is the story of three friends who have been friends since elementary school. They're obsessed with Neil Diamond, and Darren, who's probably the most meek and timid of the bunch, thinks he's never going to meet the right woman, and through a weird series of circumstances, he ends up involved with the beautiful but manipulative and controlling Judith. And JD and Wayne aren't going to stand for this, his two best friends, so they concoct a scheme to kidnap Judith, and when that doesn't work, they fake her death. They do everything they can to try to hook Darren back up with his high school sweetheart who just moved back to town. Meanwhile, they have encounters with plenty of other interesting characters, including their high school football coach who got himself thrown in the slammer for some less than favorable behavior on the field. Will JD and Wayne be able to get Darren back with his high school sweetheart, or is he going to end up inevitably marrying Judith? Will their scheme work? Again, Saving Silverman is not art house cinema. It is not something the critics treated kindly. It's a big, stupid, juvenile film, but if you can turn your brain off for an hour and a half and you just want to laugh, there's really no finer movie. It's perfectly cast. Seeing R. Lee Ermey, the tough-as-nails drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, playing a high school football coach in a comedy is surprisingly effective. The actors in the film, especially the three actors playing best friends, have a great chemistry about them, and you really get the impression these guys have been lifelong friends. Jack Black is always funny, and his Tenacious D bandmate Kyle Gass has a cameo in the film. I'm not going to spoil what that is if you haven't seen the movie yet. And then Steve Zahn, of course, very underrated actor, probably best known for being in comedies, but you know, he's done stuff in more dramatic films as well in recent years. He actually did motion capture and a voice in the last Planet of the Apes movie that came out. So, pretty diverse there. It's kind of crazy. They actually managed to get Neil Diamond in the film as well, and he does share a few scenes with our heroes. And like most Dennis Dugan films, Dugan himself does have a cameo in the movie, though like with Kyle Gass's cameo, I'm not going to spoil where it is or what it is. Now, whether or not you like Saving Silverman is going to vary greatly. There are people who trash on this movie to this day. The old critic reviews are up there, and they're as unkind as ever. But, there's a lot of people like me who are fans who went and saw this movie in theaters way back in the day. I think I was a junior in high school when this came out. I remember my buddy Derek and I went and saw this. I don't know if it was the weekend that it opened, but we laughed pretty hard. And again, if you could turn off your brain for 90 minutes and you just want to laugh, the movie gets the job done. Unfortunately, the disc itself is not good. The disc is not good because, first of all, the transfer is terrible. It looks like they just took the old DVD transfer, added a lot of noise reduction and artificial sharpening, and called it a day. Saving Silverman looks terrible in its Blu-ray debut. I don't have the older disc to compare it to anymore, but I can assure you that this is not any sort of substantial improvement over a standard definition treatment of the film. The other problem, there are no bonus features on here, despite the fact that bonus features for the movie exist. I had the R-rated cut of this movie on DVD back when it was first released on home video. That version of the movie had a gag reel, it had the original theatrical trailer, it had a commentary from Dennis Dugan. There might have been one or two other things on there, but the fact of the matter is there was bonus material made for this movie. It does exist, and not including it on here is unacceptable. I know Comedy Central also did a real comedy special on the movie back when it came out, and that's not included here either, though to be fair, that wasn't even on the original DVD. Why couldn't they give us something on here? I mean, the menu is static. You get the option of whether you want the subtitles on or off. That's literally the entire opening menu because that's all that's on this disc. It would have been nice to have had seamless branching, including the PG-13 cut as well, just for, archival and comparative purposes. But sadly, again, a bare bones disc with a terrible transfer. I love Saving Silverman. It's juvenile, it's stupid, it's crass, but it made me laugh. 20 years later, it still makes me laugh. I think there's going to be a lot of people watching this video who absolutely hate this film and think it's the stupidest thing they've ever seen. To each their own. But $20 for a bare bones disc with a terrible transfer of a movie that obviously was not a critic's darling, that's just too much money. If this goes on sale and it's like in the $10 range, go for it. As is, I recommend it on the basis of the film being funny, but not the transfer and not the bonus features or lack thereof. Are you a fan of Saving Silverman? I know there's a few of you out there. Comment down below and let me know what you think, or if you've picked up this Blu-ray disc. Also remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting new videos. Give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.